Short summary. A hanging is a powerful short story in a colonial Burma. In this presentation, I will explain to you my interpretation of a hanging from a historical approach using references from the early 20th century and capital punishment. Orwell's personal experience. The short story, A Hanging, which was written in 1931, is based on Orwell's personal experiences. The broader themes of imperialism, the justice system, and dehumanization that took place in the early 1900s. British colonialism and Burma. Orwell, who was born named Eric Arthur Blair, served as a British Imperial police officer in Burma from 1922 to 1927. His first-hand experience with the colonial rule influenced his short story, A Hanging. At the time, Burma was a British colony, and British administrators, including the police, like Orwell, played a key role in control over the population. Key points. A hanging reflects the brutality and moral contradictions of the colonial rule. The hanging of the unnamed prisoner is presented as a routine act of punishment, which highlights the imperial system's way of normalizing violence. The depiction of the prison, the execution process, and the attitudes of the general officials show the dehumanization effects of colonial power structures. Early 20th century views on capital punishment. In the early 1900s, capital punishment was practiced in British colonies and the UK. Debates about the morality and effectiveness were increasing. Orwell's description of the executions was emotionless, bureaucratic acts reflects on contemporary arguments against the death penalty. Its dehumanizing and morally corrupt effects on the ones who are enforcing it. Other historical accounts and literature. Orwell compares the colony executions to the other accounts of the British imperial violence, such as Heart of Darkness by Joseph Conrad and his own story, Burmese Days. Similar events occurred in the later anti-colonial and human rights literature in which emphasized the destructive nature of state-sponsored executions. The state-sanctioned killings was an example of the corrupt exercise of power. Conclusion. Beyond the literature and historical records of British colony, executions show a system that prioritized control over justice. Capital punishment was used to suppress the lack of agreement and maintain order. Orwell's portrayed execution as a routine, a mechanical act that had no feeling or morality, rather than a necessary measure to enforce justice. It was described as a mundane cruelty. The ending. Thank you for taking the time to listening to my historical approach on The Hanging. I hope you found this information helpful. Once again, I am Atawi Wolde Selassie. Have a great day.